Just a quick announcement before we get rolling. The Select Board will be entering into executive session at the end of the meeting and returning to regular session only to adjourn. We'll be entering executive session for, or pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, and that's to discuss strategy with respect to litigation. If an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the litigating position, and then just to approve the meeting minutes, the executive meeting minutes from 1/27/2026, per Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21(3). Mr. Town Administrator, go ahead, sir.
Yes, could we actually have a moment of silence for our longtime town sanitary inspector, Wayne Curran, who passed away on January 31st of this year?
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Mr. Curran will be sorely missed. All right, let's move on to consent items. Number one, approve the meeting minutes from the regular meeting held on January 27th, 2026. Number two, approve the updated Town of Paxton recycled product procurement policy. Number three, submit notice to the town clerk to place open planning board position for a 3-year term on the ballot for the next election. And number four, appoint Pamela Cardacci, I hope I'm saying that right, to the Board of Registrars effective April 1st, 2026 to March 31st, 2029. Is there any discussion regarding the consent items?
No.
May I have a motion to pass the consent items, please?
I move that we approve the consent items as written.
Second?
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Very good. Next up, we have a presentation from Tara Rondo regarding the Paxton Municipal Light Department grant recently awarded to that department.
I don't know about a presentation.
I'm just reading what I was told. Could you come up to the podium though, just because our microphones aren't working everywhere? So no PowerPoint,
No,
multiple
sorry.
charts and graphs?
Really, I'm just here to say we got a ton of money. Yay. No, no, just kidding. So, yeah, thanks to the Massachusetts CEC, we received $1,180,000 towards, we will be replacing our transformer at the substation. It's 53 years old. So this spring, we'll be replacing it. We're upgrading its size, because after 53 years, we're still not maxed out on the current transformer, but with the push for electrification, there's definitely going to be a lot of growth in the next, well, let's hope this one lasts 54 years again. And the plan is to take the current one, we're gonna move it aside, put down a foundation, a containment underneath it for possibly any oil or anything like that, and have that as a backup, a spare, so that should anything occur, we wouldn't need to trailer in a large transformer. We would only be down long enough to just move over the components.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Now, when you say we're gonna be down, so how long will there be a power interruption while they bring that in?
No, not really, that was wrong terminology. to
No,
use.
that's fine, I just wanna
So because we
clarify.
can be fed from not just our substation, from the Worcester end or the Rutland end, we'll
Yep.
just switch off. So
Terrific.
the substation will go down and we'll be fed from probably Worcester side.
And you weren't kidding when you said that you got awarded a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's
That's
fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah, so it's a 69-31 split, so we have to put up 31% of the cost. So it'll, about $800,000 we'll have to pay.
But that's fantastic, congratulations.
Yeah, it is, it's amazing.
And
Thanks.
congratulations to the board as well, Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the organization that we belong to, MWIC, the Massachusetts Municipal Wholesale Electric Company, they have some grant writers, they really help us out with stuff like that, so. Because it actually is through the federal government, through the Mass EC, so the Department of Energy. So we actually was awarded it in 2024, but it took us until June of '25 to actually get all the paperwork, like, finalized to get the ball rolling. So.
Terrific.
And we couldn't announce it because we've known for a while, but the state wanted to be able to announce it first before
Yep.
we were able to publicize, so. Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah.
And honestly,
is.
like the added component of, community resilience that comes with being able to have that old transformer serve as a backup. Number one, it's not, going into trash anywhere. And number two, we just have, just another mechanism for us to be able to maintain electric service to residents. I think that's fantastic. So congratulations.
It's already so good anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
thank you.
Thank you.
So, yeah, sorry, there's not much of a presentation, but.
That's all right. That's
That's
terrific news. And
We shared it on Facebook, but I understand it only gets to the people that, are on Facebook. So, Robert wanted everyone to know what we've done for the ratepayers of Paxton. We'll keep working. We're working on some other grants and stuff.
absolutely, that's something to celebrate. So that's fantastic. I'm glad you came to share it with us. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me. It's been a while. So, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a great evening. All right, next up, we're supposed to meet with Capital Improvement Planning Committee. Mr. Love, would you like to open your meeting, sir?
Well, technically, we're not going to formally open it. We're here as you being the host committee, host entity, host body. So we're here to respond to the item that's on the agenda, which is to meet with you to discuss the bylaws that we submitted and left with you, I think, a month ago. But technically, we're not going to open the meeting, although we do have all but one of our members present. And we want to exchange in terms of the deliberation with you, but not with ourselves. So apparently that is permissible. And checked with the town clerk today and cited a quotation from those that who would know better, and she agreed that what we're doing is fine.
Okay.
So we're here to respond to whatever questions you might have on the bylaws that we left with you. I don't know the exact date, but it seems to me it was about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because the
January
27th.
15th. I believe it was the 15th.
Yeah, the 27th, you weren't available. That's fine. Terrific. All right. So if we can get things started, before we get into the specifics, I just had a general question. The Capital Improvement Planning Guide put out by DLS, which is a department of DOR, gives a sample bylaw, which is pretty simple, straightforward. Why did we choose not to use what the state recommended?
Well, we just took it upon ourselves to do our own research, and I think I've said and would want to reiterate, we looked to 17 communities, and in particular, those in the Wachusett district. And then, of course, we expanded it to other communities that abutted Paxton, thinking that that would be pretty apropos to the type of bylaws that we would want to have. So we didn't go that particular route. And I know you're not suggesting this, but I don't want it to be thought that we didn't do any research at all. We just took a different avenue.
Oh, I hope that didn't come across that way,
No,
because that
didn't.
was not what I was suggesting. Mr. Curtis?
Yeah, obviously I've been to the couple meetings, 5 or 6 that you've had. And really to get my understanding around the CIPCs and what's around locally, kind of got into the weeds a little bit within the government websites here. So we have about 106 towns that are less than 5,000 in population, and only about 40 or 50% of those have a CIPC committee. Within the ones that are local to us, we have 6. East Brookfield, Oakham, and Boylston do not have a CIPC. Hubbardston, North Brookfield, and West Brookfield do. So I kind of went into it a little bit more deeper. And by reading what Peter just referenced was a little bit more of a proactive approach. Last couple meetings being, attendance within those meetings, I feel like we're in a reactive state, right? And I know we're here for the bylaws, but I think coming together as like a committee looking to be more of a proactive approach, like we're up against the ropes here. Like Chief Pingator brought it to everyone's attention last week. We're asking for funds that we don't have. And I think by doing these bylaws or changing what do I want to say? The future of the committee, we have to start looking to 5-10 years down the road. We just had, 4 departments come up asking for extraordinary amount of money that we weren't proactive about. Now, I'm not blaming either side, but there's a lot that we have to look in the future to figure out where we're gonna be in 5 or 10 years from now. And right now, we're using Band-Aids to fix bullet holes right now. And it's gonna catch up to us, if not already. So what I'd like to see is the committee be more of a proactive versus a reactive. And by sticking with some of these guidelines that are that we can share with Robert to give to the committee, and I'm sure most of you have seen it, I think we just have to relook at what makes sense for the future of Paxton. Because right now, we're in a very vulnerable state right now, which we all know. So I just wanted to add.
Yeah, and let me be quick to point out, these bylaws don't cure that.
Sure.
They don't resolve that at all. But I'm wondering whether or not, because the intent of these bylaws that have been put forward to you were predominantly to refresh the old bylaws under which we've been operating for 10 or more years. I think what you and Peter might be alluding to is the need for a capital planning plan for the next 5 or 10 years, which we would not for a moment disagree with the need for that, the desire for that, but that is not what is captured in these bylaws. And I'm not sure that such an extensive 5 or 10-year plan can be captured in these bylaws other than to maybe have a provision that makes reference to it. But I kind of think they're outside these bylaws, but the need is for sure, absolutely there. The Collins group did something similar to that a number of years back. I think that can be dusted off and utilized going forward. But it's also an awful lot of work that the Capital Improvement Planning Committee cannot do alone. We would have to, if we're charged with this, we'd have to do it with the Selectboard, we'd have to do it with the Planning Committee, we'd have to do it with the Finance Committee and all the department heads. Because the needs are, as much as great needs were put before us in the last month or so, there are greater needs with bigger dollar amounts, with more zeros that haven't come before us, that we all know is out there. Bridge repair, for instance, is one of $1 million plus. DPW building facility, I don't even know what number to use, 6 million, 12 million, 25 million.
For the
Those
building?
are all significant needs, but that's outside of what we put forward to you. In full agreement with what you're raising, but it's not here. Whether or not we envelop a provision or a section in it to make reference to that, but I don't think the bylaws can be that plan as much as they can make reference to that plan.
Yeah, the state bylaw recommendation does say that, excuse me, that they will give to the committee on forms prepared by it information concerning all anticipated projects requiring town meeting action during the ensuing 5 years. So it is built into the bylaw that the state recommends that we do look 5 years ahead. And it's funny that you mention the committees that you did, because also in the sample bylaw, it says the Board of Selectmen shall establish and appoint a committee to be known as the Capital Improvement Planning Committee, composed of one member of the Board of Selectmen, one member of the Finance Committee, one member of the Planning Board, the three that you mentioned. Now, this says the school superintendent or his or her, I would hope, designee, and 3 residents of the town appointed by the moderator. My assumption would be that's not necessarily in a regional school district, but I found it interesting that the ones that you mentioned, the Select Board, the Planning Board, and the Finance Committee, are the ones that were mentioned in the state bylaw as they should be on the Capital Improvement Planning Committee.
And I think they should, but the other thing to point out is, you made reference of the document that you researched. When we did our research and cut it off at 17, the takeaway was there was no takeaway from any of the particular documents. Every single one of them was different. In 3 or 4 of them that I have, they maintain that there should be 4 members, it says no less than 4 members from the Finance Committee shall serve on the Capital Improvement Planning Committee. Others speak of the school committee, others speak of the Select Board, not all of them do. 1 or 2 of them make mention of employees, but they shall not be voting members. So it's all over the place. So we couldn't find one ideal one in which to copycat, so we took a little from each one of them, but relied mostly on our existing bylaws and just refreshed them. So we weren't looking to be controversial or dramatic in terms of the changes, and not the least of which, the one that we have is terribly difficult to read. The way that it's clustered all in one paragraph, there could be 4 or 5 compelling points. We just broke those out and had each one of them speak separately for ease of research and ease of retrievability.
I wonder, so these came out in 2020, so I wonder if these weren't in response to the fact that there are so many different versions of capital bylaws out there. And these are the folks that, when it comes to capital improvement, certainly know their material.
Just to pick, Peter, 1 second, just to pick on Chris's point, what we were stunned by was how many communities did not have a capital improvement planning committee. So I think in that regard, way back when this was established, we were way ahead of the curve back in 2013. And even 12 years later, 13 years later, there's so many that don't even have them. But whether or not we take it upon ourselves to do something in addition to this in terms of the capital plan, we would welcome that, but the footnote is, that's a lot of work. That's almost like a task force is going to be set up to do that. I don't think that, notwithstanding the talent and the expertise that's here from capital planning, we're all volunteers. And that's going to take a lot of time and a lot of hours in order to do that. So I think it's going to be a town collaboration to get it done. But I think it's worthy of doing. At least one department does a particularly good job, in addition to the capital plan, is what is the inventory of what we currently have and their condition and their need for replacement, in addition to going forward 5 and 10 years. So we're all for it, but it's a lot of work.
It's funny you mentioned that, because both the Capital Process Manual and the Capital Improvement Planning Guide, which refer to capital improvement committees, both state that there should be a full inventory of capital within the community. Obviously, we're lacking that right now, as you just pointed out. And I would agree that it's almost as if we need the Capital Improvement Planning Committee to continue upon the work that they've been doing. But at the same time, it's almost like we need a reset as far as getting ourselves caught up to where we need to be. And to your point, I wouldn't disagree, it may be a larger task force that would involve many more individuals, because I agree it's a lot of work. There's a lot of work before us, having read those two documents from the state.
Didn't the Collins Group go through that, though? They took a full inventory, if my memory serves me. I
That
mean,
is
every
correct.
department had submitted.
That is correct, and there was a full document that we were supposed to continue using and updating as we go. I don't know where it fell off. I don't have the answer to that question.
Do you
Yes.
have it?
I do.
Can,
I have it right here.
thank you.
Look at that,
It's
huh?
on, I think it's on the website, isn't
It is on the website. It's on the town website. That's where I got it from.
But as far as usage goes,
capital.
I don't know when it
No,
fell.
I
No, it-
understood, but I mean, I
it
was,
was-
pleasantly surprised when that report came out because of the thoroughness
Mm-hmm.
of what we'll say community assets. I mean, it went through everything.
But that
Yes,
was
it did.
because each department had to provide that information.
Okay,
Right.
so
took a lot
if,
of work.
what's the date on that, Julia?
November 2019.
19, so that's 6 years.
It's a bit stale at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, but is it updatable? I mean, can that go out to each department?
I personally would be interested to see if the Collins Center would be willing to come back
Yeah, I was
out.
gonna say that. That would be the first choice. Could they be re-engaged?
I agree.
Was that under a grant?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
So, again, that was the information that was in that report when it came out. I didn't keep a copy of it, but I did read it when it was
Yeah.
published. I was just astounded at the thoroughness or the detail that they went through to get that.
And then they had set us up with workbooks as well, so that we
Right.
could continue the work,
And-
which is what I was referencing when I said I don't know when it fell off. I'm not
Right.
sure.
So, and again, part of that is, I guess, from this committee side, or even your, I mean, we're all volunteers at this, so it's more of the employees having to keep up with that. As Mark mentioned, there is one department that does an excellent job keeping this committee apprised of what's happening. So it would be nice to have that format shared.
But I don't think it's just a department, and I don't think it's the blame of Capital or the Select Board. We also turn people over quite a bit.
True, no, that's true.
Yeah, so
Again,
I think
volunteers.
Jeff Kent was the chairman back then at the time. You turn the chair over a couple of times, and things move around in the shuffle, and next thing you know, something falls off, such as
Well,
that.
and the other thing that we would find, I guess, as an appointed committee versus the select board. At times, it's difficult to ask for that information, just as we went through this past season, we'll say. I mean, we asked for requests to come in December, and we really didn't get them going until mid-January. So, and again, I know everybody's behind a little bit. We're down in manpower and stuff like that. But it's just, if we had a plan in place that, by the, let's just say, October 1st of every year, you update your plan, by the end of the year, that gives you 3 months to do it, and then it can be shared with the select board, and then it can come back to us.
Yeah.
The calendar is in there.
It is, right, and that's one thing that I gleaned from a lot of the bylaws that I looked at, is they actually do specify the date by which that would be received by the committee. And I know in our current proposed bylaw, it's, suggested that the date will be set by the committee annually, but perhaps setting the expectation by putting it in the bylaw and making it the same every year, that'll make it easier for department heads to comply.
No, that's fine. I mean, if you just go back over the last 6 months, I'll speak personally, we had the MBTA thing that took up a tremendous amount of time.
Yeah.
We had the special town meeting, we had the vote for the override. I mean, there were just a lot of things going on that a detail like this or a schedule like that kind of gets maybe just slid aside a little bit, not pushed off the table, but just moved over, because everything else is pressing at the moment. So, I would ask them, with the direction of the select board, if you can we look for another grant and see if we can get the Collins Group to come back and rekindle this interest?
We can certainly look. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not a
Carol-
problem. We have a
Carol, how
town-
did you get the grant last time? Do you remember? Was it through the state or,
So it's all part of the community compact, and one of the things was, updating your capital plans. So I knew that, so I contacted the Collins Group and asked whether they would be.
okay, so is that like a start, could we do that now, contact them and say, is there a way we can get this project funded? I guess, is that how they helped us?
Yeah,
So,
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
okay.
we did two at the time, so.
That's right.
So it sounds like then your desire is to get into some of the particulars that we found within here. Would that be correct?
Say again, Peter?
It sounds like what your desire is then is to start looking specifically at the proposed bylaws that you have before us and not.
As a
speak-
committee, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Not
Plus,
as,
the
not
other
as,
footnote to that is these were refreshed with the best of intentions. If the select board, and don't want to disagree with my colleague, but if the select board wants to expand this to be something bigger, and to include reference to a capital plan, and then separate and apart from that, a capital plan is undertaken, we're happy to hit the pause button on this. This is not critical, this is not urgent. I'm glad we did what we did, because we probably wouldn't be having the discussion that we're having right now. Because it does, in our particular bylaws, it does make reference to a window, a period, which we've already experienced this past year is difficult. If we're asking for it to be submitted between mid-October and mid-March, and they submit it to it in mid-October, and we meet on January 1st, the bid has already been expired. So we can't really act on that particular capital request, because the number that we need to put forward in our committee report is already expired. So we're kind of, we're not chasing our tail, but we're moving. It's always fluid, and it's hard to button down an exact date. There's weather involved, there's turnover of staff. We were trying to be as accommodating as possible, that we're not going to say a particular date because we don't have that authority, and we know all the difficulties that come with this. But it is challenging to button down a particular time period. But all the more reason to have something out in a 5-year plan. I'm probably going to get myself in trouble by saying this, but we had a couple of capital requests that were made to us a week ago, 2 weeks ago, totally took us by surprise. Did not hear about them, didn't know that they were coming, and they were big dollar items. The two of them, until one of them was ratcheted down, were about $800,000. This capital plan that you're talking about has got to include that, so it's not a surprise.
No, I think that's the point.
That's
Yeah,
the whole idea,
that's the whole-
yep.
Yeah, and to your first point that you brought up, we just experienced that with the boiler down at Paxton Center School. It was approved, and by the time it was approved at town meeting, the quote was no longer any good, the
well,
bid
we're
was no
going
good.
to talk about that a little bit later. 'Cause
But actually,
the
I
town
was
administrator
talking
has some
about
different
another-
information.
I was actually talking about another department.
Yeah, well, I understand, but that's just an example of what we're talking
Right.
about.
So it's a problem. It's a town problem that the select board's got to decide who they want as players to go forward and make this better.
So on section 1, number 8, you wrote the select board shall approve the appointments to the CIPC committee. Who would actually be bringing forth I guess nominees would be the best way to put it. Who would be making the appointment subject to the approval of the select board?
It's
Because the
usually
wording is-
individual that would like to join the committee, they go through.
We have a policy.
Well, I understand that, but if it's going into the bylaw, the wording has got to be, is important.
Maybe the word approve is not the right word. You make the appointment.
The
Correct.
appointment, right.
Yeah,
Well,
you don't
well,
approve
it's-
them.
But see, that's why I point that out, because it's more than just, we do make the appointment.
Right.
And then the use, I know that we touched on this briefly, and again, I'm going to keep going back to the DLS form, just because the state, the Department of Revenue, I assume, has a pretty good idea of what they speak. You've got 3 years and $10,000, and the state is recommending in both documents, the process manual and the capital improvement planning guide, 5 years and $25,000. Now, Forrest, you were there in the original. personally, I mean, if it was originally $10,000, I would think that periodically we could take a look at an adjustment for inflation, which would put us somewhere around $15,000. I don't know if we need to go as high as $25,000. But that is what the state is recommending. I just wanted to point out that the state recommends that in both of their capital documents. And then the last one I had a question on was section 2, number 6. And just, I think it's just a wording thing. It's just a wording issue. Because again, it says, will vote through its own, through its own process, will vote on and select the capital needs request to put forward to the select board for presentation to the annual town meeting or the special town meeting for consideration. I think the wording that we've had probably should remain for approval, and then the select board's approved capital budget would be put forward.
Yeah, and that's our understanding. I think the motivation for number 6 is that whichever ones we put forward to the select board is under a process that we undertake, that it's not legislated to us, dictated to us, told to us, because we actually have a ranking form that we've been using for a long time.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
And we determined 3 years ago that one of the criteria was actually flawed, that a good score was a bad thing and a low score was a good thing. So we just discontinued it. And there was so many questions and so much confusion, we just said, let's just get a consensus as to which ones we're going to put forward. And there's never been a problem in terms of agreement or disagreement. There's been no disagreement, quite frankly. So that was just to say, you know, you're supposed to use your form. We're saying, let us do our own process until maybe that form is revised and improved and brought into the 21st century, because it was good at the time, but even by word of charter members, they realized it's no longer good. So we don't want to be accused or held accountable that we didn't follow that process, because that's not really the process. It wasn't in the bylaws. So we want to be able to have some flexibility each year to choose our own way of doing that.
I just want, and again, I understand processes and all, but I just want to make sure that the bylaws reflect what is actually supposed to occur. And it's not just a pass-through to the select board for presentation. It's a pass-through, it's a document that's handed to the select board for examination and approval, and then the final fiscal budget or capital budget is presented to town meeting. And I just don't want someone to say, wait a minute, you're only supposed to present what we give you. And that's why I just the wording, having gone through a major grievance in the community in which I work, I know how important wording can be on these documents.
Well, having made recommendations to the select board and they're not going forward to, in a warrant article, we know perfectly well how it works.
I've heard something about that.
So if we need to wordsmith it to
Very good.
capture that better, we're happy to do so. So,
Anybody else have anything else? And I think that the idea to table it and examine further might be a good idea, but does anybody else have anything that they would like to add?
I agree that, Mark, with your suggestion that we table it, look at it a little bit further. When I was doing my research on this, what I determined was that most capital improvement planning committees have that 5-year planning component as part of it, and that is what DLS recommends as well. If you look historically at what we've had in place in town, we have actually, you know, you comment on 2013, but we've actually had a capital outlay committee in town since 1966. And so,
Forrest, will you vote to that?
yeah, and so in
After school, you were
1966,
showing up for those meetings, okay.
their job was to ascertain annually what capital outlays will be required by the town during the next 6 years. Shall publish and distribute to each voter an annual report, and shall include in such reports its estimates of income, operational expenses, tax rates, and recommendations for scheduling capital outlays and for the financing thereof. And then when you look at the 2013 bylaw, it also contemplates both the, annual capital budget as well as a 5-year capital plan. And so I do think it's important that we keep that in there. The other thing that I think, and I understand what you're saying about wanting to follow your own process, but I think that the prioritization of these projects and ranking of the projects actually adds a lot of value to what the committee can present, right? Because you'll get a number of projects presented to you, and if you do use a ranking form, and by the way, I did find an updated one on the DLS website that you might like. I can forward it to you if you want. Choose it if you want to, but it's a fillable PDF with drop downs. It's kind of nice. And it allows you to prioritize by need, by impact, et cetera, a number of different factors. And then those projects, based on their priority, as assigned in a transparent and consistent way through this form, then it determines what ones are going to be put forward for this year versus what ones are going to be scheduled in the next 2 to 3 years versus what ones are going to be deferred further down in the capital plan, 5 to 6 potentially years away. And I think that it really helps with the decision-making involved. And because it is a consistent and sort of transparent method, it takes the heat off the committee a little bit too, right? So that it doesn't look like it's just opinion-based, takes bias out of the mix, right? It is like a pure factual sort of document that helps to with the decision-making. So I think that would be really helpful. I would like to see ranking and prioritization get back into the committee's decision-making.
Could I ask that if we're going to implement that kind of a change, I think we need a new baseline. Thus, I'm going back to the Collins Group to start. And
Agreed.
I'm not opposed to just, if we get it updated or it started in the next whatever, I think as a committee, we could keep that going. But to try to resurrect it from 2019 to today, that's just out of reach.
I
Agreed.
agree.
And if we want to use the priority form, the prioritization form, that's great too. Again, you'd see things like the DPW building, it's got to be
Right.
done at some point. So,
Yep.
yes, you can kick the can down the road, but at some point, the day of reckoning is coming. And I think, from what I've seen on the committee in the last 3 years, or as a member of the committee, it's a knee-jerk reaction at some point. Like, we have a crisis that needs to be taken care of today, so that jumps to the start of the head of the line, and something gets rolled back that maybe would have come up this year.
Yep.
And we're just not in the position yet to be able to play by those rules,
Yep.
I guess. It will help, but again, it's a big undertaking right now to have that, we can't resurrect from where we were. So
Right.
If we get a new baseline, I think that would be great.
Yep, I agree. And I do think it starts with the departments. Each department ideally has their own 5-year capital plan. And then, that is what gets submitted to you, and then you incorporate it into a larger document. This is what we had. This was our 2018 plan, and as you can see, it's like, I wonder if I have page numbers on here. It's like 7 or 8 pages long, right? And that's the last time we had a town-sponsored one was 2018, and then we had the Collins Group in 2019. And then I think, with our current budget situation, it's very difficult to try to continue that, and I think that probably has factored into the equation somewhat as to why it fell off.
But if we use your form, I mean,
Yeah.
so you could just move it ahead another year.
That's
and then
right.
And then another year, and what, I'm
It
just saying, it's,
should become much more fluid and easy.
yes.
Yeah.
And it will be able to be updated.
Yeah, and I still like the idea of you guys not being surprised with,
Yes,
major projects like Mark was alluding to today.
right.
That's something that you guys should have at your fingertips to say, well, yes, we're looking at this and this, but don't forget, 3 years down the road or 2 years down the road, we're looking at this, and that's a major piece.
So to follow up on that, last year there was a lot of discussion with the department. Again, I'll speak of the department if you want, but I mean, we were hemming and hawing between certain item requests. We put forward a recommendation. It was not done, but we didn't see anything come back this year, and that's where that report would say, okay, if we didn't do it last year, then you've got to do something this year. And there's been no input. So I'm just concerned that, yeah, we're going to kick it down the road, but next year it's going to probably be a crisis because nothing has been happening for 2 years. And it was on some sort of a cyclical basis. So just because there was a blip in that thing, all of a sudden now it's gonna be, that snowball is really getting some size and force coming down the hill. So, I'm all in favor of this update thing. I think that's great.
Very good.
One other question, if we could. If we're gonna hit the pause button, is this something that is gonna be paused before this year's annual town meeting? Or is it something that we can get a warrant article, put a placeholder in, and we have until that point to get it done? I mean, we've been working, I've been on the committee now for 3 years, and this has been one of the things that's been ongoing. So I'm just asking that maybe we have the ability to try to wrap it up. Or with the promise, because there'll probably be a special town meeting in the fall, we could do it then. But I just would like to bring some closure to this.
I do, oh, sorry, Peter, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think it's tough to try to tackle something like this in the midst of budget season. You know, ideally, in my mind anyways, you try to update your program when you're not actively working within your program. And then for the next year, you're ready to go with a new program. So I'm of the mindset that we table it. The committee certainly is welcome to work on it, although I'm sure you're busy just handling your usual work. And then Mark certainly is going to continue to be busy with finance up through.
Okay, so then special town
Yeah.
meeting timeframe, is that
Yeah.
better to ask? Again, because this is, we just keep kicking it down the road. Just,
Right.
we'll get to it.
Yeah.
And what we're talking about tonight, revamping the entire system, is something that if we start with that, then the bylaw updates would be the next thing, and then all of a sudden, we're all working for a common goal instead of trying to put out the fires.
So I think the takeaway is both Julia and Neil are both right. I don't see this ready for March
Perfect.
to get into the warrant article queue and ready for the annual town meeting. But to Neil's point, I don't think we should wait for the following year's annual town meeting. Maybe the goal is for the special town meeting.
Perfect.
In which case, we get through the annual town meeting, there's some downtime, and we take all of the input that we have and come back with, I'd like to say version 2, but it would be version 7, to get some blessing. Because we've taken some notes on what you've said, and they're good points. And again, we're not gonna go to the mat on any of these. These were well-intended to refresh something that really was old. So let's get something, and maybe it's not perfect in every single way, but it's definitely got to include something about our capital long-term plan, and it doesn't right now.
And the research that you've done to get to tonight, would it be possible to ask for written updates, just like the 5-year, 20,000, or 25, 15, just so we see something and then we can kind of work it out, rather than, we're talking about it now, and if we don't revisit it until September because of the town meeting and the new year, and then everybody's on vacation, July and August, all of a sudden, we're right back in the throes of this again as we start the fall season, asking for requests to come forward. So you can see, it's just an endless cycle.
So, would it be, are you asking me to forward you the 2 documents to which I
No, but if
refer?
you
'Cause I
have,
can
you
do
had
that.
comments about specific sections
Oh,
already.
sure,
So if
sure,
you
I'll be
have
happy to.
those-
Oh, yeah,
if you
I can-
have that, that's a
absolutely.
starting point that then we can try
Oh,
to,
yeah.
work through that.
Yeah, I'll summarize what I
That would be
talked
great.
about. Sure. Be happy
So to
to-
be more specific, could all the select board members funnel it to
Absolutely.
either to you, or to Robert, or to Donna, or to Julia, so that we get one voice
Yes.
coming back to us, but it includes everybody's input?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you.
that'd be great.
All right. Anything else? We're good?
We're good as we can be at the moment.
Okay.
Take it.
Thank you. And thank you for all your work. I know it's a lot of work, and I know it's frustrating not to see it over the finish line yet, but we'll have a good product to complete.
The takeaway from our meetings is that the need is enormous in terms of capital equipment and vehicles and the like, and the resources are not so much.
Yeah,
So that's the challenge. Thank you.
for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have new business. Ratify the contract for the town administrator. So next up, we have to ratify the contract for the town administrator. I assume we've all seen the contract for the town administrator.
Yes.
We saw the minor, very minor changes that council made. Are you aware of those as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board?
I have comments.
Please.
So I just want to say that over the past 6 months, Robert has served as our interim town administrator. He's done a fantastic job. During this period of time, I, as one member of the board, have been able to have the unique opportunity to evaluate Robert's performance in real time. He has already navigated the specific complexities of our town and worked diligently to address a lot of complex administrative and legacy issues left by prior leadership. He's ensured that the town's operations continue moving forward with some very challenging items working against him, including trying to get our free cash certified in time, filling roles such as the town assessor and the treasurer collector during a time of year that's very difficult to fill those roles. And of course, we all know about the challenges with the FY26 budget cycle. Robert's been working diligently to learn the position through the organizations such as MMA, DLS, and others, mentoring relationships, various areas, and also doing some coursework. You've completed your procurement training, is that correct? Yep. And so the training and dedication that Robert has showed to learning the position, in my opinion, demonstrate his commitment to the technical aspects of the role. In addition, Robert has also demonstrated an excellent work ethic, ability to work collaboratively, and a no-friction approach to getting things done. And I can't emphasize that enough, the no-friction approach to getting things done. He is one of those types of people that removes barriers and just does it. There's no drama, there's no unnecessary difficulty, it is just done. And that's what I like to see. Based on Robert's work in the position to date, I find that his performance has been proven. He now has institutional knowledge about the town and has developed a rapport with town stakeholders, and that makes him a very strong candidate for the permanent position moving forward. Robert has already demonstrated a seamless transition of leadership and has secured the confidence of town staff and the public. And what I have noticed, I think the biggest thing that I've noticed since Robert has come on board is a huge uptick in morale in our town employees.
Absolutely.
And trying to maintain that morale and that consistency and steadiness of government, to me, is strategically a priority right now. So those are my comments.
Well, I would agree with all that, Julia, and the way you've approached the position, it's great. It's just what we wanted. It's somebody who's going to listen and be listened to, and you brought a sense of calm back to the town, all officers as well as all the other departments. And the fact that you go out of your way to do all this training and attend all the meetings and get in touch with as many people as you can, because I know you've asked me several times, who does this, who does that. I think it's great. It's a great approach, and I think it's going to put you in great stead for going forward, and you're going to do a great job for the town. Can see it already. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the effort. I told you when we hired you as an interim, part-time interim, that it was a 20-hour per week position. Don't let anybody take advantage of that. You're getting paid for 20 hours. Don't have people telling you now you need to start working 50. You didn't adhere to that. You broke through that 20-hour barrier almost every single week. And then since we've been able to restore that full-time position, again, you've gone above and beyond. I'm coming home from work the other day, having worked until about 5:30, and here he is popping up from the senior center, quick toot of the horn, and he waved, and then he disappeared into town hall. So the hours have certainly been commendable. The work has been commendable. And then I did ask around. I mean, it would be silly for us to appoint a leader in such a position without checking with employees to see how are things going? You know, is he learning the position? How's he relating to the employees? And I heard the same expression 3 times as I heard Julia say, and that was that it was a breath of fresh air. So certainly you've gained the confidence of our employees. Our employees seem, well, let's face it, we came within a day or two of losing one of the most valuable employees we have in this town. I don't want to go any further than that, but some of you know to whom I refer. And part of the reason that employee is still here is because of the effort that you've put in. So I think that certainly this contract is well justified. You've certainly proven yourself, and I congratulate you on the effort that you've put forth up to this point. Chris, anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, we, we talk about twice a week, and where you've come from at the beginning, even myself newer to the board, like, it's amazing how you've progressed over the last 6 months of just, like, you don't have no as an answer, like, I'll ask you something, you just figure it out. And you can definitely tell by going to the town hall, it definitely, the culture is definitely different. So kudos to you for, having that, and, yeah, you've been doing a great job.
Thank you.
Kirk, anything?
I've got him back. He's muted.
Oh, he's muted.
He's muted.
Sorry,
He's
looking
on.
for the mute button.
That's okay.
No, everything that you guys have said is just, I'll just reiterate all that. The effort he's put in and the happy, joyful willingness to do that is just refreshing.
Thank you.
Okay. With that being said, may I please have a motion to ratify the contract for our town administrator?
Could there be a question? I don't know, it's a procedural thing.
Sure, I'll take a question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing negative to say. I agree with everything, being a chair of a committee and a vice chair of another committee, going into town hall, getting answers, everything, I agree in spades with what has been said here tonight, so that's a positive thing. Could you just help me? It's a process thing, it's not a personal thing or whatever, but we started with a part-time interim town administrator in July, and then with the ballot question that was the override to get the 550, then there was enough funds to put back as a full-time. If we went back to, I believe, last town meeting, or maybe the select board meeting right in early July, there was $15,000 or $18,000 appropriated for a search committee. I may have missed it, but it's from the process. Did we ever go through that?
No.
Okay, so is there a job description with qualifications written? And this is not personal, this is more procedure, so please, Robert, I don't want you to take any offense to the questions that I'm asking, because I like what you're doing. But I just want to make sure that we've been transparent and gone through all of the procedures.
So, in anticipation that such a question could come forward, I asked Julia to contact town council.
Okay.
And the question was, have we done everything that we need to do to be able to make this appointment of Mr. Birkbeck specifically to the town administrator position? And we have received word from town council that, in fact, we're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Neil, just to further address your point, I do think that there's value in having a process as you describe. However, in this particular case, I think it needs to be a weighted issue, right? So you need to weigh the value of that process against what the detriments would be with that process in our current position. And the things that I look at in terms of where the downfalls of doing something like that would be are, number one, our town employees. They've been through kind of a lot the last few years. Anything that I can do to maintain consistency for them is really
Well,
important to me.
particularly if you almost lost somebody within a 24-hour notice, and so.
Well,
Right.
2
Not
days,
just one.
48.
All right, okay,
not just
40,
one.
okay.
Oh, I don't want to be accused of
All right.
misrepresentation.
Yeah, but there was a lot, and she wasn't the only one. We did lose
No.
several
There's several.
And then, luckily, Robert came in, we've stopped the bleeding a little bit.
Okay,
Which is nice. So I think so you have to balance, strike the right balance between having that kind of a process for transparency purposes and then looking at what are we currently have in front of us. We have somebody who is positioned, he's already functioning at a very high level as an executive. I certainly don't want to risk losing him by going through the process. The other factors are, that's $15,000 that now we can, use for some other purpose, and Lord knows we need that money.
oh, absolutely.
So I'm not sure it would have been the best use of town resources when we have the situation that we have, which I think is a fairly unique situation. It's not.
If I can just, what's the term of the contract?
Sure. The term of the contract will be through June 30th of 2027.
So it's roughly
So a year and a
2.5
half.
years.
Okay, all right. I
And
know, because in the past, we went with one-year contracts, and I'm just, reliving history here, but it was a one-year opportunity.
what this does, Mr. Bagdis, is first of all, it gets us back to the fiscal year.
Okay,
It allows us to abide by the interim contract that we had, which we said that we would evaluate at this point and let him know what we decided. And then it does give everyone a year and a half to decide, is this the right fit? It certainly gives Mr. Birkbeck the opportunity to take a look at the town and say, yeah, this is a job I want to do for the next 20 years, and it gives the town the opportunity to look at Mr. Birkbeck and say, is this the gentleman that we would like to have in this position for the next 20 years? I think we have a talented individual that is very intelligent and personable, which is a great combination. We are, as Julia alluded to, and one of the points that I was going to make, and she just beat me to the punch, was if we don't have to spend that money, being a fiscal conservative, I just assume not, especially in these budget times. So I think that there's a lot of pluses to what we're doing, and I'm excited about what we're doing and moving forward.
okay. So just the last thing, because a lot of this stuff was done in executive session, so there's no details out there. So thank you for answering the term of the contract. You discussed the salary range. You don't have to be exact, but is it falling in with a comparable, if you went through a search process, that you might entice someone to apply? Or are we just saying, we've got to get through this little hurdle that's in front of us, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do in after 27? Or, that's all I'm asking.
Well, once we ratify the contract, it's going to be a public document anyways.
Okay, so I'm kind
So I
of
don't
asking,
see-
though, like,
I don't see any reason why we couldn't
No.
disclose that.
okay.
We're confined to what is in the budget. So we can't go above what has already been.
Appropriated for this
What
fiscal
was
year.
that number?
118,000, I think. It's
Yeah.
in the ballpark of 118,000.
All right.
Um,
Robert will probably know.
What's that?
Robert will probably know.
Robert probably does know, you're right. But it's whatever the budget amount was.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I mean, I guess, based on what we see from other communities, I mean, Rutland just hired a new town administrator, and I believe that salary range was in the 140, 145. Are we, and I'm not speaking ill again of the individual, I'm speaking of the situation and the process. I mean, how do we attract somebody to even want to consider coming in if we're at that, what I'll say, very low level, low end of the level? And I'm concerned as this goes forward, that's all.
I need a little bit of clarification.
Yeah.
All right, so if
I
we're,
lost you. I'm not sure
if
where you're
we're
going.
offering 118, and
Yeah.
I'd say a neighboring town, slightly larger, not Holden, but Rutland is in the 145, I mean, why would somebody want to apply here for that job? It's
Well,
just-
you could ask Mr.
Yeah, I was going to
Birkbeck.
say.
Well, but he was here, I mean, he filled the need in the beginning as part-time, then he was appointed full-time, and now we're back. I'm just saying, we didn't go through a process to bring other candidates in for you to interview, not saying that he's not the best choice, but is it best choice based on pay, or best choice based on skill set, or based on morale? There's a lot of things that go into this situation, and again, this is not a personal attack, but it's the process that I'm concerned about.
So here's the only way that I can answer that.
Okay.
Okay, because I can't speak on behalf of the other four. I'm only one of five. But in all honesty, I did not look at pay. I didn't even think about pay.
Okay.
I looked at his performance. And yes, morale is part of that soup. It's one of the ingredients. There's no question about it. Because when I first started here, morale was alarmingly bad. I had been told that it was bad, but I didn't realize where it was.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how close we were to losing some very valuable people. That has certainly picked up, but that's one of the ingredients. The other one is how quickly he's been able to pick up the job itself. Now, granted, he's got, in my opinion, an outstanding mentor to my right, besides the fact that he's also sought out peers against whom he can bounce questions. So he's done a fantastic job of making sure that what he doesn't know, he learns rather than guesses. Everything I've seen from his performance to morale, and now certainly $118,000 budgeted amount does come into play. And the fact that he's willing to do that, willing to accept that, I think makes Mr. Birkbeck a home run. I really do. But again, I'm working with him 3-4 times a week.
Okay.
So it's really from experience, and that's the only way. That's the only person to whom I can refer.
All right, I appreciate your candor and proceed with your ratification.
Terrific. Thank you. All right, may I have a motion?
I move that we ratify the contract for the town administrator.
I'll second.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations, Mr. Town Administrator.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Great job. All right, and Mr. Bagdis, thank you for your input. All right, we need to open the warrant for the annual town meeting.
I move that we open the warrant for the annual town meeting.
Second.
All right,
Can we say the date?
On,
That's what we're looking for, the 4th of May.
is it the 4th of May?
first Monday in May.
Yep, I move that we open the warrant for the annual town meeting on the first Monday of May, which is the 4th of 2026.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
Aye.
Sorry, caught you missed.
No, no.
Mid-sip there. Kirk?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. All right, I don't have anything for old business?
Do we need to set a calendar for closing of the warrant?
Donna will do that.
Donna's going to
Yeah,
take care of it, yeah.
yeah.
And unfortunately, Donna's,
But she'll
Not feeling
always-
well,
She'll
yeah.
update it.
yep, great, perfect.
She'll bring that to the next meeting, Robert. Robert, can you ask that Donna brings that to the next meeting, so that we all know when the
Yes,
gaps are due.
absolutely.
Yep. I don't have any select board correspondence. We do have a town administrator's update.
Yes, we do. So thank you for the recognition for me. I really appreciate that. But I really want to recognize 2 people at the town hall who have been instrumental in closing out FY25 and getting free cash certified. And that is our town accountant, Larissa Kennedy, and Dee Malone, working in the treasurer's collector's office right now, are doing an incredible job. They routinely go above and beyond to ensure the town's finances are accurate and accounted for. During this transition period in the treasurer's office, they have really stepped up to the plate, and I cannot thank them enough. We have a great team in place, and I welcome everyone to come up and come by the town hall and meet the team. So,
Okay.
but I just really wanted to extend a sincere, thank you to those 2 because without them, we would be in a really difficult spot right now.
Terrific.
Can I just add something to that, Robert?
Of course.
I'd like to personally thank Donna Kutcher as well. Donna, who left town not that long ago, came in and helped all our staff with everything. She stepped into the collector's position along with Dee and put plenty of time in that shouldn't have had to do, but she spent hours and hours poring over
Yes, she-
our accounts and actually rewrote them so that she could figure out what was going on. And I don't think we'd have got where we got without Donna's input.
You're
So
absolutely
I personally want to thank Donna because I know what she did for us all the many years that she was worked for us, but she was good enough to come back and help us. So, and she didn't have to.
No, she didn't, and I believe she's working another job while she's doing
Yep.
it. So,
Yeah.
So,
She's coming back and helping out her former employer, and we're very fortunate to
Yeah.
have her on board helping out as well.
I agreed. I think Robert said it best, that it's been an all-hands-on-deck
it has been,
approach.
yeah. I just didn't want that to,
Yeah, but, that office was in a difficult place, and it sounds like we're getting it right where it needs to be. So thank you
Yep.
for organizing it, and thank you to everybody who's been involved.
but Larissa and Dee and Donna
Everyone, yeah.
Parsons been great, so thank you all of them. And you, Robert, you
Yep.
had to step in as well. I think
Yes.
Julie alluded to that earlier, so,
Yes, I'm definitely helping out with learning a lot about transfers there.
yeah.
Anything else?
We have district office hours tomorrow at the town hall from 2:30 to 3:30 for Senator Durant and Representative Ferguson. So if you have questions or comments or anything like that, stop by, see their reps. And then we have Bay Path is beginning work at 10 West this week, and we are excited to get the project underway.
That's pretty quick.
Yep, so they
Thank
will
you.
be there on Wednesday. They'll
Fantastic.
start the process.
Fantastic. And again, Mr. Wenzel, thank you
Yes, thank
for
you.
all your help in,
Yeah.
in putting that together.
Yeah. The time that you put in,
appreciated.
thank you.
It was interesting hearing about busloads of students
Oh.
showing up.
You just realize that's gonna be a pretty cold construction site.
Very cold. Say,
Yep.
perhaps space heaters will come in.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Citizen speak, I don't have the clipboard. You've got the clipboard.
No, the clipboard, but I signed up.
I don't, Art.
Just want to make sure I go in order, so I don't get in trouble for not following the order.
Okay, so it will be,
How about that? An item came before Capitol last Thursday evening, or let's say a rediscussion. And I'm going to ask Robert to kind of fill in the dates here, but Wachusett last year made a presentation with 4 members: the superintendent, the building and grounds manager, the principal at Paxton Center School, and then Mr. Runstrom, the chair of the Wachusett School Committee, regarding the boiler situation. Now, again, if you've watched some of the meetings, you've heard all this stuff. Can you kind of just fill in the dates? Because I found this to be the greatest misjustice that this town has gone through. So if you can just give us the dates you gave us last Thursday, because I don't want to misspeak.
yep, get them right now.
Basically, he'll give you the exact,
It
are
was
you got it?
November 20th, 2024, we had $67,600 for a quote. That then changed to $89,910 because the subs were missing on the previous quote
And the
on
date of that?
December 13th,
Okay.
2024.
And the meeting when they came to Capitol to present to the committee about the need was January 23rd, and the number they gave us was 67.6. Having known that it already went to 89, and then by the time we had our meeting in June, the number now is 101,
647.
but that's only good through February 15th.
It's, yeah, good for almost another week.
They gave us 2 weeks from a January 31st update. And I don't know how we can try to be held to those numbers when I feel that they misinformed us in the worst possible way. As a resident, as a member of the committee, and a taxpayer, I'm so upset about this. And I voiced some of that last Thursday to Robert. Him as the conduit to get the information out there, not as the person that brought the bad news. But this is terrible. So we're at 67.6 is what we approved, and they're at 101, which happens to be about $35,000 difference. And my suggestion then and now, and it will be until we go to town meeting, because I'll speak on the floor if we ask for more money, is that falls under the threshold of the $35,000 allowable for the height, for the Wachusett amendment or whatever agreement that we have. And this truly is their era. These are professional people that represent the district I mean, they're paid employees, they're not volunteers like we are here this evening, with the exception of our new town administrator. But I'm just saying, it was just lies from the beginning, and I'm gonna say that, they can all hear it.
I think we just got to temper that a little bit.
All right, I'll filter it a little bit.
We don't.
We were misinformed.
We don't know what their side is because we haven't heard it from them. There could be a completely reasonable, reason for why things went the way that they did. And until they're able to give their side of the story, I think we need to withhold judgment personally.
Okay, but to have the update of December 19th and then speak to us on January 23rd when they had the new number and stuck with the 67.6.
But it was subs, right? So perhaps they had a plan for doing that work on their own. I don't know. But I think that I think that we should consider that there's the possibility it was all done with the best intentions until proven otherwise. And so until they're able to be here to explain it to us, I don't want to second guess anything that happened right now. I think
They have not chosen to come to CIPC to explain it to us, so I'm asking that you put out the word that we want them to come.
So, I agree we can't look at intentions. However, it is disappointing to get a quote that's only good until the middle of February when they know town meeting isn't until May, the beginning of May.
I agree, but I don't know that you're going to get a quote for a longer period of time than that from a heating company, right? Like,
But,
especially in
so
the
I guess
middle of
my
winter.
point would be then, these articles, when they go through, are up to and any figure thereon. So certainly, we could budget higher, pass higher, and then not have to expend all of it.
Right.
But to come in with saying, all right, we're gonna ask you for this amount of money as long as it's before February, and again, I don't wanna question intentions, I agree with you on that. We don't know why this is all happening the way it is. I think that we do have representatives from the Wachusett Regional School District coming to address us in March,
They will for the budget, that's true.
and I see no reason why we can't broach this subject that evening as well.
Just for an explanation.
Fair enough. I kind of find the idea intriguing. It was their mistake. It's within that 35, if we can keep it within that $35,000 threshold, it's something that we can certainly discuss. But to go any further without them here, I agree. I'm glad you brought it to our attention.
Okay.
So that evening, we can address it. But I think that at this point, without them being here,
That's
I'd
fine.
sooner
I
not
am
go any
just
further.
I'm gonna just ask that if the new budget comes in and it's more than $35,000, if they would kick in the 35 that they missed, we'll take the 67.6 and we'll make it 70 or 72. But we're not gonna go to 105.
Well, again, I don't want to commit to anything.
I understand, but that's the
Yeah.
question I want you to ask. We found out that they just got their capital reserve budget, it's got $3.5 million in it. And, I mean, we're just one of the 5 towns, I'm asking for 1% of that, $35,000.
Well, let's,
I mean, there's so many ways to look at this, and I'm trying to give you selling points to say, please explain your way out of this, rather than just, no, we're not gonna do it. Say, well, no, you got $3.5 million.
well, like I said, that's something that we will certainly approach that
I-
evening.
I appreciate
And my guess is that you will probably be present as
I am
well.
gonna do everything within my means to be here.
Excellent.
And the other thing that I just wanted to bring out as you go forward with, we were told last year that the boiler was in dire need of replacement. We have had the coldest
Oh,
winter
Neil,
in 20 years, and those 2 boilers are working fine.
Why did you say
knock
that?
on so much wood,
Why'd you say that?
please. Honestly, you're like asking that boiler to fail
But, you know,
tomorrow.
it's, but I liken that to, I've got this vehicle with 300,000 miles. It's still running.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that tomorrow when I put the key in the ignition.
No,
it's
I
gonna
understand,
start.
and there's
Yeah.
been maintenance on, I mean, everything gets maintained, but I'm just saying that we were told and told and told, beat into our head, we've got to do, and we want to save the kids. I want to make the kids nice and warm at school. I do. I believe in all that. But sometimes it's just, things are exaggerated.
Well,
Where
let's.
I'm going.
Again, Robert, could we, if we could, send them notice that we'd like this, addressed as well that evening.
Thank
So
you.
that they don't walk into it
Thank you.
blind.
Right.
And, we will certainly bring
Yeah,
that up.
because they'll say we didn't prepare for it, so we gotta
Right,
come back.
and I don't want that
That's
either.
great.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I do think that we need to focus on finding a solution, though, going forward. I understand the desire to figure out what happened, but really the problem still exists.
It does.
And
Well,
we need to work on
and
finding a way
that's
to
the second part
fund it.
of what he's talking about. is,
Yeah.
You know, you've got E&D, you've got this, you've got that. Is there a way that we can make this work if we kick in our 67 or whatever?
Okay.
But yeah, we'll be more than happy to address it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And you did soften my presentation a little
Oh,
bit.
good.
You're good. It's okay.
And then we have Mark.
Mr. Love?
Good. Jeff, did you guys-
I thought you'd never hear that.
Thank you, sir. That's it.
All right.
That's it.
All right.
All right, we are going to be going into executive session. May I make a motion, please, to leave regular session and move into executive session?
Thank you.
So moved?
Second,
Any further discussion?
Please don't.
Hearing none. All in favor? Julia?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Carol?
aye.
Kirk? And the chair votes aye.